Well, the switch to remote learning last year was quick, and for some families, it certainly wasn't easy. Parents had to find babysitters, set up makeshift classrooms, and become teachers themselves. Each district has promised it will be better this time around, especially in Palm Beach County, where all students will be learning from home to start the school year out. Our parents are also doing their homework right now, coming up with some plans to better serve their children. A Boca Raton mother has stepped up to the plate, creating a free social network for support. Now, South County reporter Miranda Christian looked into how this could help your entire family.
Boca Raton mother Randy Zucker says the sudden switch to online learning last school year was difficult with 2 young children.
It became very overwhelming.
Zucker found she wasn't alone and decided to create a space for families to seek help and support. It's called Homeschool Roomies.
It becomes a network where we can nationwide swap ideas, learn from one another.
Launched last week, the free network has 100 members already signed up.
When you join Homeschool Roomies, you can join and create your own groups. You can join people in the same grade level, in the same city, or some have even created their own learning pods.
They're creating even social distancing contracts among families where parents will group together, let's just say 3 or 4 kids, and hire a tutor, for example.
Zucker says the goal is to help any way possible, and it's not just about Florida connections.
I have a single mom of 3 in Arizona. I have a mom of 2 boys in California.
She says the platform offers a secure space for families to share information and offer their kids the best online learning experience.
I hope that the network brings people together in one centralized location and just makes it easier.
You'll find a link to Homeschool Roomies on WPTV.com. Just click on Back to School. In Boca Raton, I'm Miranda Christian, WPTV News Channel 5.
We have spoken to many of you parents out there struggling with a big decision, what to do with your children when you go to work. Well, in Palm Beach County, there are many daycares and nonprofits that can watch and teach your kids. But along the Treasure Coast, big questions as to what happens if a classroom has to be quarantined because of a positive COVID test. Our Erica Rako right now joins us in studio talking about your rights as a parent and a family.
Well, when this pandemic began, Mike, and schools transitioned to that remote learning, a lot of businesses also transitioned. But now, a few months in, bosses are calling a lot of parents back to work. An employment attorney says if you have to miss work to care for your child who tested positive or has to be quarantined because they were exposed, there are some options. In March, Congress passed the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, and that gives parents 2 weeks of paid sick leave if you have to quarantine. And parents also get 2 weeks of paid sick leave at 2/3 your regular salary if your child's school or daycare shuts down because of COVID. It also guarantees 10 weeks of leave at 2/3 your salary if you need to take care of a sick child. If you have run out of that time, experts say definitely ask your employers for some more flexibility, but make sure when you do that, you go to them with a plan.
Come up with your plan and say, hey, listen, this is the most that I can do for my employer. Or this is how I can do everything I need to do for the employer while still be there for my family.
And if you do plan on taking advantage of the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, just know these benefits do run out at the end of the year. Mike?
You know, for many of you parents out there, the decision's a tough one. When you get down to it, you have to go to work and you have to leave your kids at home. So the big question is, at what age can you do that? What is and isn't legal? Well, our Tori Dunnan set out to find the answer, and it may surprise you.
It's a tough topic to even talk about. Many parents are worried about what a virtual start means for their jobs and their children's safety.
Quit your job or leave your kids home alone and they could be in danger.
I can't leave work. Okay, I have to go home and, homeschool my child, and I won't leave her home alone.
Major John Budenseek,
it is very vague,
with the Martin County Sheriff's Office, says Florida does not have a hard and fast rule about when it's okay to leave a child alone.
It's up to the parent to assess how mature their child is.
There's no set age, and it's up to parents to decide when their children are old enough.
The law that comes into play is the law that addresses child abuse or child neglect.
DCF has a list of questions that you should answer as a family to decide whether or not the time is right to leave your child home. Things like, can my kid tell time? Is there a neighbor that they can trust?
Make sure there's no firearms available to them. Just keep the children away from the pool while you're at work. Make sure they understand 911.
According to DCF, the National Safe Kids campaign recommends children not be left alone before the age of 12, that older siblings should not supervise younger children until 15.
Install a system in your house where you can see your children throughout the day and talk to them throughout the day.
Major Budenseek says start with small trips to the store, have food and water available, don't let them ever use the oven.
If your child is not capable of being home alone, it's not worth the risk. Don't leave them home alone. If you have to quit your job, and I'm not saying that lightly.
Law enforcement says they will respond to concerned calls.
If it's just a parent made a mistake, we'll try to work with them and get them the resources and help guide them in making sure their children are safe and that they stay in compliance with the law.
Tori Dunnan, WPTV News Channel 5.
You know, there's no doubt about it. Superintendents and their staff, they have had their work cut out for them. A very busy summer. They've been planning ahead all during this uncertain time of coronavirus.
Well, WPTV News Channel 5 anchor Michael Williams asked each of our 5 county superintendents for just 5 minutes time to discuss the new year. And he joins us now with a message from Martin County Superintendent and what they want parents to hear before classes start on Tuesday.
Martin County will be the first public school district in our area where students return to school. There's been a lot of discussion to move back the start date. A lot of teachers there are worried about going back into the classroom, they say, but no later date could be agreed upon. The superintendent there, Laurie Gaylord, says the district is ready, especially when it comes to working to keep campuses clean.
Right now, those classrooms are clean. Those classrooms are clean. They've been sanitized. We will do another clean before students come back. So we are following all the guidelines that we possibly can to the maximum degree possible. But again, we all know that there's absolutely no 100% guarantees. I mean, we will do everything that we possibly can.
Superintendent Gaylord will retire in November. The school board looking to hire someone to fill her post next month. And I asked her about her impending retirement and hear what she has to say about that and much more by watching the full interview on WPTV.com. Now back to you.
Distance learning, boy, it can be challenging for any child, especially if your kid requires extra help. The support being offered for the student and the families.
And masks will be mandatory in schools. The steps you can take right now so your child is ready to wear them for long periods of time.